Dear student, welcome to the MSBT's online teaching learning platform. Myself, Professor H.C. Ringe, HOD Civil, CSMSS College of Polytechnic, Kanchanwadi, Aurangabad. As in previous lecture, we have seen what are the different types of the rubble masonry. In that, we have studying about uncoarse rubble masonry. Already also we have seen there are two different types of the stone masonry of uncoursed rubble masonry, and that is nothing but random uncoursed rubble masonry and square uncoursed rubble masonry. So let us have a discuss about the random uncoursed rubble masonry. So in this type, the weak corners and edges of the stones are removed with the help of mason's hammer. At the quoins and jambs, bigger stones are employed in order to increase the strength of the masonry. So random uncoursed rubble masonry, it means that the particular masonry is nothing but randomly placed stones are there without maintaining any of the layers and shapes of the masonry, and that's why the name itself suggests that it is a random uncoursed rubble masonry. Whereas at the quoins and jambs, bigger stones are employed in order to increase the strength of the masonry. The second one is square or uncursed rubble masonry. So in this particular type, at all the edges, some of the shapes or the square shapes are being maintained. So we can say that the stones are made roughly square shape and used in construction. The facing stones are provided a hammer-based finish. Larger stones are used as a quoins, chips are not used as a bedding. So basically, with the help of the mason's hammer, a rough squarish shape is being maintained, and with the help of that material or that stone, the stone masonry is being casted or the constructed with the proper providing the layer, and that's why this type of the masonry is called as square uncoursed rubble masonry. After this, the name polygonal rubble masonry is another type of the rubble masonry. So the polygonal masonry is nothing but the stones for masonry are roughly shaped into irregular polygons. The stones are then arranged in such a way that it avoids vertical joints in the facework, break the joints as possible, use of stone chips to support the stones. So basically, if you observe this figure, the shape of the every stone is like a polygon, and that's why such a kind of the masonry is being called as a polygonal stone masonry or the polygonal rubble masonry. Then flint rubble masonry. In areas where flint means the flint is nothing but shiny gray or black stones is available in plenty, a flint rubble masonry is employed. The flints are irregularly shaped nodules of silica. They are extremely hard but brittle in nature. The thickness of the flint stones varies from 8 to 15 centimeter, and their length varies from 15 to 30 centimeter. Generally, the flints means the shiny gray or the black stones are being used in this type of the masonry, where the flints are available in plenty. Okay, so this is nothing but the flint rubble masonry. Now come up to the next point, the dry rubble masonry. The masonry where without any using the bonding material, the stones are placed one another other and the masonry is formed. This type of masonry is called as the particular dry rubble masonry. These are rubble masonry construction performed without the use of the mortar. Small spaces are filled with the smaller stone pieces, and it is used in pitching the earthen dams and the canal slopes, etc. Okay, so now coming to the next type of the masonry, that is ashlar masonry. The ashlar masonry is constructed using accurately dressed stones that possesses uniform and fine joints. The thickness of the joints ranges about 3 mm, which is arranged in various patterns. The size of the stones blocks must be in proportion with the thickness of the walls. You can observe that in rubble masonry, no any proper dressing were done to the stones, but in this ashlar masonry, the properly dressed stones are being used of different shapes and size, whatever required, and then the masonry is constructed, and therefore the proper layer you can observe in this image, that proper layer is being there and proper jointing of near about the 3 thickness is being occurred. And so such a kind of masonry is called as a ashlar masonry. The different types of the ashlar masonry is nothing but ashlar fine masonry, ashlar block in course, ashlar chamfered masonry, then ashlar rough tooled masonry, and rock or quarry faced masonry. So these are nothing but the different types of the masonry. So what do you mean by ashlar fine masonry? The ashlar fine masonry is in which the each stone is cut into uniform size and shape, almost rectangular in shape. This shape hence provides perfect horizontal vertical joints with the adjacent stones. An ashlar fine masonry construction is very costly. As it is mentioned that you can observe in this image, every stone is properly cut and dressed into the proper size and shape, with every stone is having same dimensions and same size and shape, and that's why you can observe that it could be or it seems like a brick masonry construction, and that's why as the shaping and dressing of the stones are required, that's why the costly work is involved in this particular type of the stone masonry. Then ashlar rough masonry. This type has stones whose sides are finely chiseled, dressed. The face of the stones is made rough by means of tools. Around the perimeter of the rough dressed face of each stone, a strip of 25 width is provided. Generally, in such a kind of the main masonry, the sides of the every stone is chiseled and dressed properly, and the face is kept somewhat rough. But obviously, it is also dressed, but not up to the fine of the fine up to the like it is provided into the ashlar fine masonry, and that's why it is called as a ashlar rough masonry. In this only the sizes or the widths where the jointing is coming over there, that will be dressed properly, and sizes or the particular faces are being kept as a properly. Then rock and quarry faced masonry. So in this masonry, the type has a 25 wide strip made by a chisel placed around the perimeter of every stone. The remaining portion of the face is left in the same form as it is received. So you can observe that over here on the surface, the 25 the portion is chisel and rest, and the rest is kept as it is, and that's why it is called as a rock and quarry faced masonry. So the portion where the jointing is coming, that is dressed, but the remaining portion kept as it is, and that's why this type of masonry is called as a rock and quarry faced masonry. Then ashlar block in course masonry. The ashlar block in course masonry means this is the type of the combination of ashlar masonry and rubble masonry. The faces work of the masonry stone is either rough tooled or hammer dressed. The backing of the wall may be done in rubble masonry. So as you can see in this image, the front side will be constructed in a properly dressed and shaped stones, and the backing could be with the rubble masonry, and that's why this type of masonry will be called as a ashlar block in course masonry. Then ashlar chamfered masonry. The ashlar chamfered masonry is nothing but the masonry where you can observe that the chamfer for every stone is being provided on all the edges. So, and that's why this type of the masonry is called as a ashlar chamfered masonry. In this type of masonry, the construction of stone masonry is done in courses, but the sides are chamfered or beveled at an angle of 45 degrees by means of chisel at a depth of 25 Hope you have understood all the contents of the major features of the stone masonry. After going through all the contents, you are supposed to write down and explain all the word problems over here. So I request everyone to just take a paper and pen and write down the word problems which can be asked in examination. So the first one will be the explain the term stone masonry. Second one is explain term through stone. The third question is explain in brief facing, backing and hurting. The next question is explain necessity of cornerstone. Then explain different types of the stone masonry. Then define rubble masonry and enlist its type. Next one is define ashlar stone masonry and enlist different types. Hope you have understood all the contents explained in this video lecture. Keep studying and keep watching. Thank you very much.